Hmm. Mala, you want to ask something?
No. So, okay, the one question that I wanted to ask was, say, while one is how does your digital marketing experience help in those campaigns? How do you get people on board? Uh, what kind of marketing campaigns you do, and how do you plan it?
Well, they're not exactly like, I mean, they are kind of, but they're not exactly like campaigns that you would do at your job, for instance, you know. The basic principles apply, but what's also, again, this is a learning, for me, this has been a learning so far, and I'm still learning, is how to translate those the ideas about marketing and advertising that you've learned over the years in your jobs and through Harmony, ma'am. How do you translate those to
Right.
development communications? Because
Right.
it's not the same. I mean, in a way, I'm translating my experience as an agency employee in digital
Right.
to just client side. So it's not the same profile. It's just client side. You know, the work is the same, but you know, we're not driven by ROIs as you
Exactly.
are. We're driven by getting on board what we report back is getting on board a certain number of supporters for issues or in general for the organization. What we're also doing, sometimes we get questioned about why we are so active on digital, and leading organizations, not just UNICEF, but many leading organizations, development organizations around the world are realizing the importance of being very, very prominently present on digital because I mean, if you look at all the, you know, like your Nielsen's and your market research agencies coming to you and telling you that there's a very interesting report by I think Boston Consulting Group. It says by 2018, half of India will be online. And the thing is, the interesting thing is, I also what I also do is I go to the various state offices that we have, which are about 16, and we talk to them about digital. And their usual concern is, well, our audience is rural. You know, the people who we're trying to work with are rural people,
Right.
not your urban digital people. But the interesting thing in that study, the Boston Consulting Group study, was that the digital divide is going to become lesser and lesser. There are going to be more vernacular, more rural, more middle-aged groups that will be online. You know, it's not going to be just dictated by younger audience. So the so results like that, indicators like that are very interesting for us. And what we want to do is until 2018 build strongly a community that can support the issues that we are talking about. This community is our usual aim is for this community on digital to be influencers. What we want them to do is impact policymakers' decisions. And one thing that was very interesting that I learned on one of my visits to a state was, I forget which one, and I forget which chief minister who it was, but you know, considering the current government and their huge interest in digital, a lot of the ministers, what they do is they have digital teams who collect
Right.
for them every day. They put together all the comments, etc., that come in for the ministry or the minister or the work that they're doing. And so this particular one, they actually go and give a printed report to the minister every evening, and he goes through what people are saying. So, you know, what we mean by influencers impacting policy decisions in India is people actually saying, this is what we want. You know, a large number of people together saying, this is what we want for the people of our country. So yeah.
So
Why you
has
are
okay.
sorry?
Okay. Okay. So has this say the emergence of digital platforms made the life of say volunteers or activists like you a little easier in terms of say, reaching out to the demographics or what do you sense? Because those platforms that we see, the Facebooks of the world or the Twitters of the world, the reach is you can say it's a 20 to 35-year-old demographic. So is that the right target for you, and is that helping UNICEF as well?
Well, I don't know if I'm the best person to give you that answer, because if you understand, I am someone who joined the development sector when digital was being prominently used. So I can't clearly give you an answer for that. But my sense, from what I understand from my colleagues, is that digital has really changed things. So much so that every organization has had to get up and change their communication strategy. And I'm not just talking about UNICEF here. I mean, globally, every organization has had to take notice. And some of us are leading the digital trend, and getting on board fairly quickly. Some are still lagging behind, but everyone understands that this is where we need to be. I speak with a lot of my, what I usually do is communications solely. I told Falguni that before. But I also speak and work closely with my fundraising colleagues, and they do say that digital has really changed things for them. Even social media channels and fundraising through social media has become an important part of their work life. And I think there have been plenty of examples in terms of fundraising, in terms of communication campaigns, in terms of relief efforts. I have a thick book on how just regular digital savvy people got together in Haiti when the cyclone happened and put together relief efforts without the help of any organization. So yeah, I mean, largely it has impacted development, communication, fundraising, relief efforts incredibly. Yeah.
Okay, so one related question that I had, and before we take, Nikhil has two questions, which I'll take it a little later. So, Shruti, you were talking about using digital to influence, right? So, using influencers on the digital platform to influence policymakers of this country. So now my question was, is there a laid out process to identify influencers, or when you're using this word, you're looking at common people like me, Malhar, will be taking note of the campaign and maybe randomly writing or tweeting about it. So is there a process, scientific process related to identifying and using influencers as a part of your strategy?
Well, I don't know what other people are doing, but I mean, what commercial organizations are doing is not something I personally support. I don't support influencers getting paid for tweeting for organizations, etc. I don't think in my commercial experience as well, in my private sector experience as well, I don't think it worked ever for me very well. I think that the influencer activity that's born from such paid efforts is usually half-hearted and not very impactful. What we actually do is, and the reason I've been hired in my organization, and I know other people are doing the same, is that we actually manually do this. We make it first. I've been congratulated for the efforts I've made on gathering influencers or clarifying problems that arose, or clarifying issues that arose out of certain mistakes. I actually made a personal effort to go and speak with everyone through whatever channels. And those people who I once spoke to have become influencers for good, We also over time have cultivated our content. We put in a lot of effort into each piece of content. We treat it as the most important campaign material or daily content material, and therefore over time we've gathered influencers who completely are in tune with our efforts, and over time we're also working on having influencers. So translating our media influencers, people who are in the media who support our work and write about us, translating that to digital as well.
Okay.
It's a slow process manually. I do it myself along with a billion other things I do. But I think it's more fruitful this way.
Nice. So we have a question from Nikhil, one of our participants. Nikhil has a question: which country has responded best to the digital campaigns of UNICEF? And another question related is, how digital has helped UNICEF in India?
I don't know how to answer which country has responded best to the digital campaigns of UNICEF. It's a very, very large organization with more than 160 country offices. We have an organization structure which helps us look at all the campaigns, etc., that are happening. But it's really humanly not possible for me to keep track of what's best and what's not. We do share some best examples. Every now and then I can try and look up and tell you where we've done best. But I would say the global digital campaigns do really, really well, primarily because by global I mean the headquarters in New York. Their handle will be, if you look at Twitter, their handle will be @UNICEF. That's it. Their campaigns do really, really well because they have a huge following that's been studied. I forget which organization, but some research organization. How has digital helped UNICEF? In India.
In India.
Well, I would say shortly that our impact has multiplied greatly. I can't give you numbers because I don't remember them, but every evaluation that we've done has shown us how the impact is multiplied many folds.
Okay. Okay. We have two more questions that came up.
More.
So yeah. So how has Okay, sorry.
Communication through digital modes helped UNICEF to reach out to the remotest of areas. This is something that not just UNICEF but every aid organization is working on at the moment. There are various thoughts in place, but I don't think they have been feasible. One example that I can give you, and you will see that happening, if you go to, for instance, where I last saw it was, if you go to your any bank ATM, etc., you'll see the guard sitting outside with his little mobile phone, feature phone, not smartphone, watching Mahabharat or something on his phone. How he's getting he's going to the Kirana shop or some like the Kirana shop, which for 100 rupees or something uploads these things on his card on the phone, memory. So, but how do you harness the power of these Kirana shops all through the country? That kind of funding is not something I'm aware any aid organization has. I think the government can have possibly that kind of reach. So hopefully someone will experiment with this. No one has been able to thus far, I think. What some of us have, including UNICEF, is there are Anganwadi centers in a lot of where there is a pilot project that was done in Rajasthan where the Asha Didis, the workers who work at the Anganwadi centers, they have in, I think, one state, they have simple tabs, I think, Android tabs that they take to get data from rural people. So that's been an interesting pilot, but I don't think that's rolled out throughout India.
All right. So
there's another question, Shruti.
Yeah. Recently, GIO, I don't know what GIO is.
Jio, Reliance Jio, 4G.
Okay. Has signed up with Reliance Communications. Will it impact digital communication in rural India substantially? I am really not sure about this one. Also because one of the problems that I face currently is I'm not keeping up with the changes that happen in my time behind my desk doing paperwork.
Plus, I think, correct me Malhar if I'm wrong, but Reliance Jio, the 4G service is still in a very limited banding. So it's only for the employees of Reliance. It's not out in the open, Sinchita.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I think it will take time till it goes to the remotest, corner. It's only for the employees. Yeah.
I think
Reliance
what happens in
Infocom.
the most rural areas, for instance, I've had a chat with one journalist, is people actually don't even get signal. Your
Yeah,
regular,
yeah.
your regular signals. What they do is if they have a pahadi in the village, they'll go on top of that hill and try and get
Right.
some signal, and then they'll try and download a couple of songs. That's what they care about. They care about songs and entertainment. So they'll
Also, Shruti, my students who go on rural research project for doing ethnography for 10 days, they tell me that WhatsApp is the next big thing in rural.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Every state that I've been to is doing phenomenal work in terms of WhatsApp. So every state has small organizations working there. There are
Yeah.
lots of observatories for children and for other marginalized groups of women, etc. These observatories, for instance, will communicate amongst each other through WhatsApp groups. Everyone's figured out a way to work with WhatsApp, and that's also
Right.
recent market research. We've learned that really WhatsApp is India is, I think, the number one user, close to being or almost, yeah, number one WhatsApp user, I mean.
In fact, Ramya is giving an example, one of the participants, Ramya Pillai. She is saying that in fact they use WhatsApp small videos. So she works with a medical outfit on prevention of heart attacks and they share it through WhatsApp in rural areas. That's nice to know, Ramya. Thanks for sharing that information.
Good.
So Shruti, even Ramya is the online program student alumni.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have last 2 minutes. So before we go off air, the one last question that I had was, what do you see coming up say probably in 2016? What do you see the line of communication would digital still be prevalent for activities like you, or do you see some other modes of communication coming up?
I see it expanding. 2016 things are not changing. I mean, it's already here. 2016. We're just going to give it as much of a push as we can. I think things are going to expand as much as possible. All the how last year people would keep saying Facebook's going to die. I don't believe any of that is yet around the corner. Facebook's still going strong. Twitter is where most of the conversations for development communications happen. So yeah, these two platforms are going strong. New ones keep coming in and they keep getting added to the kitty. But these two, I think, will be just growing phenomenally.
But before you close, Malhar, I have been stopping myself from asking this question because I don't know whether Shruti will love me or hate me after that. But still, I'll go ahead. So Shruti, tell me, what is your take on the impact that Vidya Balance campaign has created? Jahan soch, wahan shauchalay.
That's actually been created by UNICEF for the government. So
yeah,
and everyone's quite happy with it. It's made an impact. I have no numbers or evaluation, but it's
overall maybe. But
it's I've from off the record, from what I've heard from all organizations involved in the creation of the videos, they've been hugely impactful in terms of all the sanitation messaging that's been created in the last couple of years. Those have been quite impactful.
Oh, great. Nice to know.
Fantastic. So we are up on the hour, so it's 10 o'clock. So any final question, Falguni?
No, I'm done.
Cool. So thank you, Shruti, for joining us. It was so wonderful to have you. And for the benefit of people who are there, where can they follow you? Where can they find you?
I think my Twitter handle is right there. It's Sacred East Wind.
Okay. Yeah, it's on Shruti's window.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm a big, huge Sting fan, so that's where the handle comes from.
Cool. And,
thank you so much, Shruti. Thank you so much for making it. We know how busy you are, but still, thank you so much.
No, it's absolutely my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, Shruti. Thanks, Falguni, and thanks everybody who are here. Would love to hear it back. Yeah. See you next Wednesday. Thank you.
Good night, all. Thank you.